Hey, this is Cheryl, All Things Cheryl. I'm here to do a recap and a review. This is Saturday, so let's get with it. Queen Sugar, the name of it is Unwrap, and everything is beginning to unwrap, guys. So I'm gonna kind of like do a cap on a bunch of things. One, we know that Ralph Angel is basically doing very well with the farm. He has applied for this. I guess they call it farm aid for small business, and it looks like that he may be able to get the money to do the farm to get the seed for the soybeans, a particular soybean seed that he needs, and in order to get the soybean Blues Corner up and running. So basically, we see him talking to Remy at the restaurant, and he tells Remy, basically, I can't do anything. I went to try to get some money from the farm, and basically, Charlie has put a lockdown on the account. And so Remy had no idea that there was money basically provided, set aside for, basic things that they need. And so, how we found out that Ralph Angel was able to, perhaps he might be able to get this money, is because Remy. Remy has given him information and is telling him exactly what he needs to do in order to get the money. And Ralph Angel is basically getting ready to go for it. Not only is Ralph Angel doing very well, but he's also doing very well with the relationship with Dollar, and accepting the fact that he understands that Dollar does need to. He is, letting Dollar do her thing. So basically, him and Blue, basically go over to where Dollar is working, and he takes Dollar a little bit of lunch, and some of her favorite drinks. And I guess she's, cocoa person or whatever, coffee or whatever. So Dollar says, "Oh, what are you guys doing here?" And so Ralph Angel says, "You talk about, us trying to, do the dots and meet all the dots. I would like to take you out on a dinner. I can take you out on a date, a real date." And so Dollar says, "Okay, fine, we could do that." And then Ralph Angel and Dollar, they're getting ready to go on their first date, which is, I think that's very, very good. I'm assuming that when they first got together, they didn't really take their time, as some people do, as some couples do. They just jump into it. And then we look at we have Davis and Charlie. Davis and Charlie, and both of them are hot messes. I'm telling you, Davis is a hot mess, and Charlie is a hot mess, controlling kind of mess. She is just one controlling person. But in the meantime, we're in the lawyer's office and inside the negotiating rooms. And of course, Charlie has her team, and Davis has his team, and so both of the lawyers decide to step out of the room so Charlie and Davis could basically get themselves together and talk about a few things and everything. And so Davis says, "This is what it all comes down to, paperwork and materialistic stuff." Well, so Charlie just says, "Look, let's just get to the chase. I'm not really here for the divorce. I'm here for the divorce, but yet and still, I'm also here for my son. I want to be a part of my son's life, so I don't want, I want joint custody." And of course, guys, Charlie. She had serious controlling issues. She wasn't having it. She literally cussed the man out. She says like, "Oh, hell no. You're not getting no controlling, no joint parent. All you have to do is to be there and be a part of his life. There's no such a thing as joint custody. You can forget that. It ain't happening." And so Davis tells Charlie, "Oh, yes, it is happening. The reason why it's happening is because I've already talked to Maka about it. And he has no problem of me being in his life and of me having joint custody." So, of course, Charlie was like, "Oh, hell no." She grabs up all of her stuff. She, gets a little suitcase and she hauls tail. She hauls tail because she go and to talk to Michael about, is it true that you say that you want your father to be a part of your life? And apparently, Michael was not there. And Michael was not there. One reason why Michael was not there, earlier within the day, Nova and Michael was inside of Michael's room, and Nova was trying to get him to open up. She said, I don't know exactly what happened to you while you were in the jail. I don't know what those policemen did to you or anything like that. But if you need me, I'm basically here. I understand what's going on. Take your time and everything. So Michael says, look, Auntie, I'm cool. I'm all right. Just kind of like let me be. Let me process what has happened to me in these last couple of days. I need this time. And so Nova kind of sort of, okay, no problem. We could do that. And so in the meantime, we go to the restaurant, and we go to the restaurant where Blue, Dollar, and Ralph Angel is basically having dinner. Ralph Angel was looking really, really good, guys. He is a very handsome dark man. He is a very handsome dark man. All the women are pining over him, and I think he is gorgeous. But my preference is, I'm a queer woman, so my preference is Nova. I think she's a fine piece of whatever. But anyway, so we see Blue. Blue is enjoying herself, being with his both parents, his mother and his father. Him and Kenya is just hanging out and everything. And so, the waitress, which is a male waitress, come over and asked the little family, said, excuse me, is everything okay? And he says, yes, everything is fine. We would like to order some dessert. And so the male waitress see Blue just having a good old time with Kenya, and he had said and asked Blue, said, are you enjoying your dollar and everything? And Blue said, oh yes, I'm having a good old time with me and Kenya and everything. And so the waitress kind of took it upon himself and said, Transformers are very, very interesting, very nice. You would enjoy a Transformer and everything. And Ralph Angel looked at him. He was very quiet. In the meantime, Dollar was over there in the corner. She kind of like scoping out, how Ralph Angel was going to handle this man telling his son that he would enjoy a Transformer instead of, the doll that Blue likes to do. But he was cool. He told the waitress, he says, we would like to order dessert. And we would like to order 2 dessert. One for my son and one for Kenya. And the waitress, he was very quiet. See, here's the deal with gender. Just because a child is playing with the opposite and he's a boy child or he's a girl child does not make him no less male, does not make him no less female. He is a child. So therefore, how you perceive it, you allow your children to develop into themselves. A bad thing that we have a tendency is that a boy, that means the color is blue. If it's a girl, that means that the color is pink. No. This is the 21st century, and all of you all who may not agree with this is the 21st century, and we have to learn to let our child develop. And there's a lot of history into all of that, but we're not going to really get into it. And so we get to the point where Ralph Angel bought enough money, just enough money for dinner, and not too much for the dessert, and basically Dollar was going to pay half of the ticket and everything, and Ralph Angel didn't really want her to basically do that. He basically said, I asked you to go on a day, so therefore I am responsible for the ticket. And so Dollar, I love the way Dollar is kind of like approaching this relationship and everything. And Dollar says, look, let us just do our thing. Let us just grow into this relationship. And let's just be who we are. Excuse me, I have allergies. Let's just be who we are and just get on with the relationship. I love the fact that Dollar is kind of sort of, coming into her own, but I'm still kind of questioning about that living will that Ralph Angel basically found within the locker box. So I'm still kind of questioning that. In the meantime, we look at we look at on Vibe. On Vibe is basically in yellow blue, or the restaurant and everything, and one of her workers and everything is looking all twisted at the mouth and looking all strange and everything, and so Aunt Vi said, "Oh, well, what's up with you? What's going on with you?" And so she says, what's the name of that rig, or what's the name of that rig that Hollywood is on?" And Arise going, tell her what's the name of it and everything, and she says, well, it was an explosion. And I'm just telling you, Arise was like extremely nervous. I wouldn't say she was upset or anything, but she was basically really, really nervous. And so we see Aunt Vibe leaving the restaurant and going to where basically Hollywood is supposed to be stationed at. In the meantime, we see that Charlie has come home from being I don't know where Micah is. So she gets on the phone. And this is where we find out that the relationship of Charlie and her mother. I'm thinking that the relationship of Charlie and her mother is a little bit of strain, because she calls and she leaves a message and she tells her mom, she says, look, you've always been there for me, and you've always been able to, calm me down and everything. And I kind of sort of just wanted to hear your voice. And so she leaves that into the voice recorder. And then we skip over to, we see Nova. Apparently, I'm telling you guys, Nova. Apparently, Nova has had a little piece of the owner who owns the barbershop. So basically, Nova goes over to the barbershop to collect this can that basically she left to see if she could collect money, because she's getting ready to do this huge big campaign of raising money for men and boys and girls and young teens who have been incarcerated but unable to basically raise their bail money. Apparently, guys, Nova has had a little piece of the owner who owns the barbershop. Well, I'm thinking that all Nova likes is white men, but apparently she's into chocolate too. She like chocolate cake. She like vanilla cake. She like chocolate sundae. I mean, like the girl said in the previously, she is just like a free spirit person. And so the owner of the barbershop says, when do you think we might, be able to get together again? And Nova says, you know what? Why don't you just allow it to develop, and let's just leave it where it is for right now. And so, he didn't say anything, he just kind of like, he just let it go. So, but in the meantime, we see Charlie again. And how we see Charlie again is that this time Charlie has went to Remy. And Remy is basically not really receiving any phone calls, not accepting any phone calls, not receiving any people, no visitors. He's just kind of like just there. And this is where we learn about Remy and the relationship that he had with his wife. We find out that this was a very, very touching scene, guys. We find out that Remy lost his wife in Afghanistan. Um, it looks like suicide bombing or something like that. And so he, was really not receiving it. And so he sees that Charlie has come to visit him. And Remy says, well, I'm not really receiving anyone right now. This is a 4-year anniversary of my wife, and I'm just kind of like, I'm out of it, period. He just said, look, I'm out of it, but, since you're here, you might as well just stay. So he goes on and he explains, how he lost his wife and how he's feeling. And he basically tells Charlie, he says, basically everything that you were going through, I am going through it also. And he literally sat down and he talked to Charlie. And he actually told Charlie, said, you know what? You are the first woman in a very long time that I really wanted to pursue and I really wanted to get to know. And so, Charlie looking really dumbfounded and everything. I like Remy. I hope Charlie gets herself together. I hope she don't mess him up, because he is a very sensitive man. But he's also a very strong man, but he's also very sensitive. And he understands Charlie. He knows that Charlie has controlling issues. In the meantime, we get to see a parallel between a parallel, which is what I learned in art school, which is a simulation between two scenes. We see where Aunt Val is basically waiting for Hollywood. And then we see a scene where Remy is telling Charlie exactly how he feels about his wife and her, and the parallel between Hollywood. So we see Aunt Vi. She is at the rig, and if it did take forever for these people to come off of this rig, I was like, oh my God, if she doesn't see this man come up off of out of this bus, she gonna have a fit. She is like, she's not gonna be right. And so eventually Hollywood did come out of the bus, and she sees Hollywood. Hollywood sees him. It's almost like they're running towards each other. It was a beautiful scene. It was a very beautiful scene. And in the meantime, we're looking at Nova. Nova is downtown, and Michael is still walking around. He has been downtown walking all day long, and he stumbles upon his auntie, who is basically making a speech about bail money and how the policemen basically abusing black men, abusing black people, period. And so she sees Micah, and Micah stands there, and she sees Micah, in the crowd. And so she stops, what basically she's talking about, and she goes to Micah, and she gives him a hug. And that's where it goes off. Another good scene, another story, the storytelling, they're working in storytelling. It seems that Ralph Angel is a very good, smart businessman, and so is Charlie. The two of them are basically similar when it comes to doing things, handling things. Of course, yes, this is the first time that my Ralph Angel is really proving himself that he can, do the business. And really, Charlie is, we don't know exactly what's going to happen. We know that Charlie is not going to like it once Ralph Angel shows him this living will that we believe that his father had left him and did a revival on this will, which is basically called a living will. But we shall see. I don't know. I'm hoping that Dollar didn't have anything to do with this. It's because I don't want him to get hurt. I'm hoping that this is an authentic will when they take it to court, because Charlie is going to have it take it to court to see whether or not, if indeed that this will is legitimate. So until the next time, peace, one love. I'm asking you to subscribe. I'm asking you to click, and I'm asking you to hang in there. I'm doing my best, and we shall see how Queen Sugar winds up, because when it comes to money, it has a lot doing it. They're doing their thing, and I'm enjoying it. Until next week, I believe we will resume on Wednesday night at 10 o'clock, and we will be going to episode 3. Until then, peace, love, and stay peaceful.